So tell me a little bit about the Overdue Bills and how it started.
Well, the Overdue Bills got started when I picked up a banjo and started playing. And in fact, I was working with a former student friend of mine, Tim Flanagan, and Tim taught me how to play the banjo, and I had kind of graduated up from ukulele. And Billy watched us, and he started playing, and he got very good at it. Actually, he finally got better than his dad, which was for every damn thing he did. But it turned out that we were involved in a talent show at an old vaudeville house in Detroit, Michigan, raising funds for Christ the King's School and Church there in Detroit, where Billy went to school. And Tim and I got the whole act started, and then I said, well, let's bring some real talent out on the stage. And we're all kind of dressed in leisure suits, which were the fashion at the time.
Mid-70s.
And Bill comes out with a banjo that's about as tall and as large as he is. And you're probably around
8 years old.
8 years
8
old.
or 9, yeah.
And that started the Overdue Bills.
42 years ago.
We have never figured out, though, whether or not it's called the Overdue, D-U-E, but sometimes we overdo it. Okay. And then from after that, we played for almost anybody who'd listen to us, but a lot for schools. Bill was involved. I was a Dean of Arts and Sciences in Missouri, and he was president of the student body there, and so we did fundraising there.
Jumped on stage.
And we also did talent shows over there.
Yep.
And a couple pictures of us there. And then this is probably 2001. I went to Louisville, and I was told to bring the banjo with me. And it was my Christmas present. We actually made this disc. And it has every song you probably don't want to hear, located right here on this disc.
Yeah, it's for an audience of 2.
So for somebody who doesn't know about your music, how would you describe it to them?
Oh, it's 60s. It's the Kingston Trio. It's Peter, Paul, and Mary. It's
4 Freshmen, or Jim Croce.
Jim Croce. So it's
Simon Garfunkel.
It really kind of started the rock movement from that kind of acoustic instrumentation. Rock went on. I mean, Bob Dylan started out as a folk singer, right?
Yeah, we don't play any Dylan. We don't put that in our song list.
And Bob Dylan ain't going to work at Annie's farm no more. Huh? But Bob Dylan kind of shocked all of his folk music friends when he came out with an acoustic guitar one day. And not acoustic guitar, with an electric guitar. So there was a departure, right from that point forward. So yeah, it was kind of like the starting point for the rock music that everyone enjoys today.
And singer-songwriter, kind of singer-songwriter. We hear that term a lot today. It's sort of the same kind of thing.
Yeah, Bob Denver, big folk singer.
Yeah. What would be your most well-known song on the album?
Well, what would famous? Nothing.
Nothing. No, we enjoy the MTA, of course, because it's a story. The one thing about folk songs, they tell stories. And this was a story about and it's the actual subway system.
It's called the MTA.
Well, at the time, it was called the Metro Transit Authority, the MTA.
Metro Transit Authority.
Now it's the MMTA, right? So things have changed a bit. But the interesting thing about that was that you didn't pay when you walked in the door. You paid when you tried to get off the train. And you had to pay in accordance with how far you had rode on the train. And the story then of Charlie was that obviously he put 10 cents in his pocket, and when he got to his stop, when he wanted to see his family, the conductor told him one more nickel, and he couldn't get off the train. And so then his wife had to give him sandwiches through the window of the train as it went rumbling through.
This is fiction. It's not a true story.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for letting everyone know that. At any rate,
it's just a fun song.
It is a fun song, and it was this whole thing of the amount of money you had to pay to get around the underground in Boston. So what they ultimately did is someone used the song basically as a campaign song, and built a big part of his campaign there in Boston on let's keep the fares low on the MTA. And so there's that political element there you hear at the end. Let's get Charlie off the MTA. Vote for George O'Brien and get Charlie off the MTA.
Awesome. And
Okay.
probably my last and favorite question is, how do you think this band has brought you guys closer together?
Oh, yeah. How has the band?
The band.
I didn't
The
realize we
band.
were a band. The band has brought us
the
closer
band.
together.
Hey, yeah, the band.
The band, man. Well, I think in many ways, I mean, we still have something we go back to, and
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are,
I'm here for his
40
50th birthday,
right,
and
42 years later, and we still plopping out these
we
songs.
still have a lot of fun.
We still have a ton of fun, and I think I said this to you guys before, but you know, when I was growing up, you think as a teenager doing these kinds of things, I'd be embarrassed or not wanting to, but it never was. It was always just sort of a fun father-son activity. We used to fish and do all the father-son camping things, but this was also
We were always close.
yeah, right.
We really palled around, and we did everything together.
Yeah.
And
This was unique.
and this was unique. He picked up on this on his own, and obviously he got very good at it. He went into drums, and he was almost a music major. It scared the hell out of me. Sorry. No. He was very good. It was Missouri Western. He was in percussion. That really scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's simply reaffirmed and expanded that relationship.
Yeah. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah. So what can we expect for you two going forward?
Well, we have a world tour coming.
We got. I think that's next.
Yeah, that's next. We're trying to get some money for her advertisement, but
So we go fund
go.
.com.
Wow, that's good for an old man. Well, you know what?
We might do another reunion tour.
We need another reunion tour. We need to get in the studio again
Yeah, that's right.
before both of our voices go to heck, which is getting close.
You know, the Beatles realized later, as they got older, that it all happens in the studio. So we have to go back and give rebirth to
That's right.
who we started to be.
We at least need one new
Find
song.
out what got lost.
Perfect. Well, that was perfect.
Any more?
That was perfect.
How much space you have?
Like,